You see this young lady over here?
Yes.
Do you have anything in this shop as beautiful as she is?
Oh, yes. Oh, no. No. I'm saying we have many things as beautiful as she would want them to be. That's the point I was getting at. And I think we can all agree with that. That's why when you came in here,
you know what we're going to need
from
here?
the first.
We're going to need a few more people helping us out. I'll tell you why. We're going to be spending an obscene amount of money in here.
The fairy tale romance that launched Julia Roberts to stardom nearly crumbled before a single scene was shot. Behind the glittering Hollywood success story of Pretty Woman lies a tale of corporate collapse, studio politics, and a young actress who came dangerously close to losing the role that would define her career. The dark origins of a fairy tale.
I would describe her as very animated, and she's a good-hearted person. She's a little misguided, but she's a good girl. I like her, Vivian.
Before Pretty Woman became the lighthearted Cinderella story audiences cherish, it existed as something far more sinister. The original screenplay, penned by J.F. Lawton, bore the stark title 3000, a reference to the cold transaction at its heart. This early version painted a gritty portrait of Hollywood's underbelly, where the character who would become Vivian Ward was not a charming escort with a heart of gold, but a hardcore drug addict trapped in a cycle of abuse and exploitation. Patricia Arquette, who initially auditioned for the role, recalled the script's dark tone during a 2019 Variety interview, describing it as a gritty art movie with a really heavy ending. The original narrative followed a more cynical path, exploring themes of addiction, classism, and the brutal realities of sex work. In this version, Vivian's week-long arrangement with the wealthy Edward Lewis came with the stipulation that she remain clean from cocaine, highlighting her struggle with substance abuse. The conclusion of the early draft was particularly bleak. Roberts herself revealed the original ending had her character being thrown from Edward's car with money tossed on top of her before he drove away, leaving her abandoned, quote, in some dirty alley. This stark departure from the eventual romantic climax underscored the script's intention to serve as a cautionary tale rather than escapist entertainment. The weekend that changed everything. Julia Roberts' world collapsed in a matter of days. After landing what she believed would be her breakthrough role, the 21-year-old actress found herself jobless when Vestron Pictures, the independent company behind the project, suddenly went out of business. The timing couldn't have been more cruel. Roberts had held the coveted role for exactly 3 days before receiving the devastating news. Vestron Pictures, founded in 1981 by Austin Owen First Jr., had built its reputation on distributing B-movies and independent films. The company had enjoyed moderate success with titles like Dirty Dancing, but by the late 80s, financial pressures were mounting. Their inability to compete with major studios for premium content ultimately led to their downfall, and 3000 became collateral damage in their corporate collapse. Roberts recalled the shocking turn of events in a conversation with Variety, explaining how, quote, this small movie company folded over the weekend, and by Monday I didn't have a job. The sudden loss left the young actress devastated, particularly as she had been genuinely excited about the challenging role despite its dark subject matter. The script's intensity had attracted her to the project, and losing it felt like watching her career prospects disappear overnight. But this apparent disaster soon revealed itself as a blessing in disguise. The project's lone remaining producer managed to shop the script to other studios, eventually catching the attention of Disney's Touchstone Pictures. Disney's reluctant gamble. When Disney acquired the rights to 3000, studio executives found themselves in possession of a property that seemed fundamentally at odds with their brand identity. The dark, gritty narrative about prostitution and drug addiction hardly aligned with the Mouse House's family-friendly reputation. Even more challenging was the question of whether to retain Julia Roberts, a virtually unknown actress with limited screen credits. Disney's hesitation regarding Roberts wasn't entirely unfounded. At the time of the acquisition, her most notable role had been in the 1988 sleeper hit Mystic Pizza, and while Steel Magnolias was awaiting release, she remained largely unproven in leading roles. Director Gary Marshall, brought on board to helm the transformed project, initially shared the studio's reservations about Roberts. Marshall later admitted he, quote, didn't know her from Adam when first approached about casting her. The director's initial preference leaned towards more established performers like Karen Allen, who had gained recognition from Raiders of the Lost Ark. The studio's wish list also included proven box office draws like Meg Ryan, Michelle Pfeiffer, and other A-list actresses of the era. The uncertainty surrounding Roberts' casting created weeks of anxiety for the young performer. She found herself required to undergo multiple screen tests, competing against more famous actresses while fighting to retain a role she had already won once before. The process proved emotionally grueling, as Roberts later revealed, with her future hanging in the balance while Disney weighed their options between commercial safety and artistic risk. The fight for professional survival. Julia Roberts refused to surrender without a battle. Despite Disney's obvious preference for a more established star, she leveraged every opportunity to prove her worthiness for the role. The screen testing process became her chance to demonstrate the unique chemistry and charisma that eventually made Pretty Woman a global phenomenon. Marshall, though initially skeptical, began to recognize something special in Roberts during their meetings. The director recalled their first encounter, where he frankly admitted his uncertainty about her casting, telling her, quote, "I don't know what to do with you. Some people say you can't dress her up. Some people say you can't dress her down." This honest assessment of the studio's concerns forced Roberts to confront the perception that she lacked the versatility necessary for the transformed script. Her determination impressed even the cynical Hollywood veterans around her. Producer Gary W. Goldstein, who had championed the project from its early days, became an advocate for Roberts' retention. He recognized that her authentic connection to the material, even in its lighter incarnation, could provide the emotional foundation necessary for the film's success. Roberts also benefited from the practical realities of Hollywood production schedules. As casting dragged on and other actresses continued to decline the role, Disney found themselves running out of viable alternatives. Stars like Molly Ringwald had rejected the project outright, finding something icky about the story, even in its sanitized form. The chemistry that sealed the deal.
Does it seem like 25 years?
It doesn't to me.
No, it doesn't.
seems
to me,
like 5 minutes.
It's 45 years is what it feels like. No, honestly, it feels like a long time ago we did that. But then, as I was saying, that was 2 marriages ago for me. So it's a lot of things happen.
And action!
The pivotal moment in securing Roberts' future came through an unexpected alliance with Richard Gere. The veteran actor had initially shown little enthusiasm for the project, dismissing his character as nothing more than a suit and a good haircut. Gere's reluctance stemmed from the underdeveloped nature of Edward Lewis in early script drafts, leading him to turn down the role multiple times. Marshall, recognizing that the film's success depended on the chemistry between his leads, orchestrated a crucial meeting between Roberts and Gere in the actor's New York apartment. The director's strategy proved inspired as the two performers immediately connected in a way that surprised everyone. Gere later recalled being struck by Roberts' charisma and authenticity during their initial conversation. The moment that changed everything occurred when Roberts, desperate to get Gere's participation, wrote a simple message on a Post-it note. Quote, "Please say yes." This spontaneous gesture of vulnerability and determination won over the skeptical actor, who immediately agreed to join the production. The successful pairing of Roberts and Gere provided Disney with the reassurance they needed to move forward with the relatively unknown actress. Marshall noted their connection was perfect and brought a lovability and charm that made audiences root for their characters' happiness. The Vindication of Risk. Disney's gamble paid off spectacularly. Pretty Woman became the third highest grossing film of 1990, earning over $463 million worldwide and transforming Roberts into an international star. Her performance earned her both Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations, validating the studio's eventual decision to trust in her abilities. Now it's time to hear from you. What was the most surprising part of this story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.